Hello and welcome to the 7 strategies for time management training. And I'm very sure that you must be thinking it is again going to be a very boring time management training. Yeah, I know that. Usually artists and many people, they don't find time management training really interesting. If you implement at least 2, 3 strategies which you are going to learn from this training, you can double your productivity. And if you don't implement any of the strategies, then you will not be able to improve your productivity. So with that, let's start. So first of all, let's understand the significance of becoming more productive, what it means for you, and how it is going to change your life if you really become very productive, if you double your productivity. Now, why it is important for us to understand the significance? Because if we don't understand the significance of what we are doing, then we will probably not do it. We will not do it with interest, or we will not do it with a lot of sincerity. So productivity is really, really important for people who want to become successful. Now, if you want to become a successful art professional, in that case, becoming productive is really, really important for you. So what happens when you become more productive? When you become more productive, you certainly can do more things in less time, and you save a lot of time. And when you save a lot of time, that time you can give for some other work, right? You can do some other work. Maybe you can write a book, you can create another artwork, or you can learn something related to art, or you can give that time doing something which is really valuable for you, right? You can give more time to your family members, which will mean you can have much stronger bond between family members. If you give more time to your family members will feel very valued, and they will feel that, wow, you are doing a great job managing your professional life and personal life. Wonderful. My husband also felt really good when I became more productive and I started saying yes for the family events instead of saying, no, I can't. And another thing is that if you get more time, then you can have more time for yourself. Maybe you can watch a movie, you can have a fun party with friends, you can go out for shopping, you can relax and watch something interesting. Okay, you can play with your kids, right? So if you have more time, then you can give more time to whatever you love doing, right? And if you have more time, then you can invest that time for increasing your business revenue. You can grow your business. You can have another parallel source of income. You can design something which can give you a passive source of income. You can think on all those lines if you really have time. And then when you save time, you actually save a lot of money, because time is way more precious than money, right? And making money is really good if you actually care for your family members and their future, right? So when you have time, you can do all this. And certainly when you will have time, you can give more impact to the world by creating more valuable artworks and by contributing more to the art world, right? Okay, so if you focus on implementing the strategies which you learn in this training, in that case, you can get all of this. So I hope this training will be valuable for you, right? So let's start with the strategy 1. Strategy 1 is about the 4 principles related to time management. So the first principle is, it's never about time, it is always about priorities. Now, while saying this, I promise that I will not go in the preaching mode. You know what? A lot of people, they say that I don't have time, I can't do it because I don't have time and all that, right? But just understand that basically what they mean to say is, it is not important for me right now to focus on doing it. It is never about time. It is always about priority. One of my students asked me, ma'am, how can it not be about time? When I say that everyone gets 24 hours, so my student argued that, ma'am, yeah, of course, everyone gets 24 hours, but some people can have many children and some people may have just 1 or 2 children. So one person will be more busier than the other person, right? I want you to understand that if you believe that it is never about time, it is always about priorities, you will ask yourself some good questions. You will ask yourself the questions that, is it really important for me to do this now? Can it wait for later? What I'm doing at present, is it really important for me to do that now? Or can I delay it? Or can I just ignore it? Or can I just delegate it? Or can I just delete it? Right? But let's say you say that I don't have time. In that case, basically, you are giving the controls outside you. So you are blaming shortage of time for not taking action, isn't it? But on the other hand, if you say that, yeah, it is not my priority right now, then you are under control, right? So you will focus more on checking if you really don't have time, or if actually it is not your priority. Have you understood? So that is principle number 1, right? So just believe that it's never about time, it is always about priorities. So the next principle is the principle of circle of control. So if you study the circle of control, there are basically 3 circle of controls. And innermost is the circle of control of means you're having control on yourself. The next one is circle of influence, and third one is circle of concern. So usually when a person is not having very good attitude, very good mindset, very good strong beliefs, strong work culture, strong work ethics, then they focus more and more on the outermost circle, that is circle of concern. They show concern on everything. They show concern about things that they cannot control. Okay, so the more you focus on things that you cannot control, the more anxiety you will experience, and you will have more fears, you will have more the feeling of overwhelm, right? And the less you focus on the outermost thing, right, the circle of concern, the better you will feel, the more controlled you will feel, the more powerful you will feel, right? Now, what are there in the circle of concern? Circle of concern is about everything which is outside your control, completely outside your control. For example, what other people say, how other people behave, what other people think about you, what is going to happen in the future, what is going to happen to your near and dear ones. Okay, how your near and dear ones will have a life in the future. So it is completely out of your control, right? Like many things related to the world. For example, will there be another world war? Will there be another nuclear blast? Will there be another recession? Will there be another COVID? Okay, so all that falls under the circle of concern, where you cannot have any control. The next one is circle of influence, that is the center one. Circle of influence is that which you can have an impact. The more you grow, the bigger circle of influence you will have. The more stronger you will become, the more better mindset you will have, the more better habits you will have, the more circle of influence will grow. Okay, so for example, let's say if you earn a lot, then you can bring more financial freedom to your family, you can give more education to your children, you can live a better lifestyle, right, which is outside you, but then also you can influence that. Plus, if you become more knowledgeable, if you become more experienced, then more people will listen to your words, more people will value your judgment, more people will value your opinion, right? So your circle of influence will grow, right? Now, how you can grow your circle of influence? You can grow your circle of influence by focusing on yourself, right? That is the circle of control. You have complete control on yourself, right? So that means you have got complete control on your mindset. You have got complete control of what you are thinking, of how you are behaving, how you are interpreting things, how you are giving meaning to situations, what you are studying, what actions you are taking, what decisions you are making, what planning you are doing, how you are taking in the information, what books you are reading. Okay, so you have got complete control on yourself. And the more you control, the more you focus on yourself, that is the circle of control, the more and more powerful you will feel, and more you will feel happy about it, and your circle of influence will grow. Now, why this principle of circle of control is important for productivity? That is because many of us, knowingly or unknowingly, we tend to focus on the circle of concern, and we feel helpless, right? And when we feel helpless, we feel demoralized, demotivated, we feel anxious, we feel scared, we feel out of control. And the more and more we focus on ourselves, our growth, our mindset, our attitude, our habits, our beliefs, our growth, the more we feel under control, the more we grow faster, the more productive we become, and the less anxious we become, and the less fearful we become, we feel less pity about ourselves. Okay, so that is why understanding the principle of circle of control is really important for you for becoming more productive. The next principle, that is the third principle, is release 1.0. Now, when I say release 1.0, what I mean is we are artists and we are creators, and many of us believe in just making things more and more perfect, right? And unless and until we feel that something which we are creating is really good, we don't try to share it with the world, right? And by doing that, we delay our success, we delay our growth. Now, I'm not saying that you should share with the world something which is totally not good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if we procrastinate in sharing with the world, then many times stops us from becoming better and growing faster and getting much better results. I will give you with an example. So just imagine that when iPhone came for the first time, when Apple company produced iPhone, it was not that good, isn't it? When you compare it with today's iPhone, that is like this one, you will feel that the first version of iPhone was really, really bad, isn't it? But they could grow and they could enhance iPhone because first they released the first version of iPhone to the market. So when they released the first version to the market, they got a lot of review comments, they got a lot of feedbacks, and then they worked on the feedbacks to make it better. And then they again released iPhone 2.0. And then again, they checked the market review, they got feedback, and then they again enhanced their iPhone and they again released it. And like that, today's iPhone came into existence, right? Just imagine if they would not have released 1.0 version of iPhone, then they could not have come to this situation, isn't it? Exactly like that. We are masterpieces in making, right? Just like our artwork. So if we do not share ourselves with the world, and if we feel that, no, I'm not doing that great, it is not that good, maybe I will try to do it later, maybe I have created an online course which is not that great, maybe I will enhance it and then I will share it, then we will never be able to grow, right? I can give you my own example. I started with a course called as Mastering Watercolor Realism in 2019 May. Like in a matter of 15 days, my mentor asked me to release it, and it was totally half cooked, but I released it because I was a very obedient student. And it was a 6 weeks course. Now it is a 10 weeks course, and now it is way more advanced. But I could not have done this if I would not have released the 1.0 version of my course, right? So I hope you get it, that release 1.0 is really important. So what I mean to say is, do not do procrastination or creative procrastination. The next principle is action, not motivation. Now, a lot of people, they wait for external motivation in order to take action. This is for those people who are not success driven. And if you are listening to this video till now, I'm very sure that you are a success driven person. You really care about your success. You really care about your productivity, right? So I'm very sure that if you are listening to this video and putting, focus in what I'm teaching you, then you can understand this, that if we really seek external motivation, then maybe we will be disappointed, because nobody other than ourselves cares about our own growth. Nobody will come to save us, right? So if we really want motivation, we can read a book, we can watch a YouTube video, motivational YouTube video, we can listen to a podcast, we can meditate, or we can watch some good movies that can make us feel motivated. But let's not wait for motivation in order to take action, right? When we are professionals, we take actions even if we don't feel motivated about taking action. Okay, so I will not elaborate on this. I know that you understand what I mean to say, that action should be there irrespective of motivation. Even if we are not motivated, if the action is needed and it is necessary, then we need to take action. Like professionals, they don't wait for motivation in order to take action. They just take action because they are supposed to take action. The second strategy for time management is identify what's stopping you from becoming highly productive. Okay, so here I will say something about myself. I was not a professional artist earlier, and I used to indulge myself in a lot of low priority things, which I will not suggest anyone to do that. So here are a few of them. So these are the 10 ways I used to waste time, and many of the people waste time using these 10 ways. So these are the top 10 ways of wasting time. So you have to identify that and you have to eliminate that from your plate, right? So first is justifying your action to people. I used to feel very underconfident earlier, and my father used to be a very angry young man kind of person, right? I used to get very low marks in school. I had a lot of inferiority complex, and I used to judge myself all the time, and I was a people pleaser, right? So whenever somebody used to ask me questions why I did that, I used to justify my actions. And even if I'm right, even if I'm wrong, in both ways, I used to justify action. And that is such a big wastage of time, because not everyone will understand why we are taking action. Not everyone will look for our growth. Not everyone will have the vision which we are having, and therefore justifying our actions to people is a real waste of time. The next one is doubting yourself. I feel that if we really want to progress in life, doubting ourselves is just like hand brakes. So let's imagine that we are saying, I can't do it. Now, I tell my students that, do I have a Doraemon's time machine which can say that whether I can really do it or not? No, right? We don't have Doraemon's time machine. We cannot go to the future and see if we can really do something or not, isn't it? So it is a waste of time by saying that I can't. If I say I can or if I say I can't, both are equally true or equally false, because we are talking about future which we don't know. So by saying that I can't do it, you are actually helping yourself. And by saying I can't do it, you are harming yourself. And I also believe that we are the king and the queen of our universe. And so we are not supposed to doubt ourselves. We should be the last person on this planet to doubt ourselves, right? Okay. So the third one is fighting to prove yourself right. This is another big one which I used to do. Nowadays I feel that fighting for any reason other than our rights, like our living rights or something like that, that is a real waste of our time. Fighting to prove yourself right is a waste of time, because everyone will see from their eyes that what you're doing. So what you feel is really important may not be important for somebody else, may not be important for your spouse, or may not be important for your father, or may not be important for your friends or relatives, okay, or your colleagues, right? So if you try to fight to prove that what you are saying or doing or thinking is right, it is a real waste of time. I used to fight otherwise also. I was a really fighter cop. I used to fight a lot with my husband, not because I want to prove myself right or something, just because I had a bad habit of fighting, and that is a real waste of time. Now later on I understood that if I focus more on fighting to prove myself right, I will be wrong at the end, because my life will be more about fighting and less about doing. The next is scrolling aimlessly on social media. I need not explain you anything about it. It is 100% waste of time. It has got no positive thing. Sometimes I also do that. I am guilty about it. I am not saying that whatever I'm teaching you, I don't do any of that. So one of the things which I have found that I still do it is scrolling aimlessly on social media or on some website, which I also have to stop doing. The next is comparing your progress with others. Now, you know why I say that it is a waste of time? I'm not saying that you don't need to compare. Sometimes we really need to compare to understand whether we are going in the right direction or not. But, when we compare and we make ourselves feel bad about it, so probably what we are doing is we are comparing our first step with another person's thousandth step, right? So let's say my mentor is probably earning 1 million in a day or so. Myron Golden earns quite a lot of million in a day. So if I compare that, oh my God, I'm not able to earn million in a month or million in 5 months or so, I'm so poor, like I'm so behind my mentor. So I'm basically comparing my first or second step with my mentor's thousandth step, right? So exactly the same happens in art world. So let's say you are just a budding artist and you are comparing your website with another artist's website, your way of talking in front of camera with another person's way of talking like talking in front of camera, and you are telling yourself a lot of nasty things. So that is not going to help you. That is a real waste of time. That is what I'm saying. Now, if you're comparing, but you are just learning from it, you are not pulling yourself down, you are not beating yourself up, then comparing with another person's quality is not a bad idea. It is, in fact, a good idea, right? Next is waiting for other people's approval for taking action. This is a real waste of time. First, you decide whether it is really important for you or not. And if it is important for you, in that case, you take the action. If it is not important for you, you don't take the action. Waiting for another people's approval is basically it is something like this, that let's say I say that, if my husband approves this, then only I will do it, otherwise not. So basically, at the end of the day, I am blaming my husband for taking decisions for me, isn't it? Let's say my husband says, don't do it. And then after 5 years, I will say, oh, I haven't done it because my husband stopped me from doing it. It makes no sense. We are just here playing the blame game, right? It is of absolutely no sense. Now, for example, let's say your parent is saying that, you should not become a professional artist. And then let's say 50 years has passed by and you see all the other professional artists getting really good and they are doing wonderful job, and you are looking at yourself and thinking, I also could have done that, but my father stopped me from doing it and that's why I'm not doing it. So basically you are playing the blame game. You could have taken a decision to go against your parents and that was totally okay, but then now you are playing the blame game after several years has passed by, right? It doesn't make sense. It is just a waste of time. The next one is feeling sorry for the past. We cannot change the past no matter how we want to. If I could have changed my past, I would have gone back to 2010 and I would have prevented my mother from dying, right? That was the saddest thing that happened in my life. I was too close to my mother. Now when I see that how naive I was. How could not I recognize the few symptoms which my mother was getting? Why I could not give more attention to her? But all those things doesn't make sense. You know what? When my mother passed away in 2010, I tried blaming myself. I was so nasty to myself. I used to say that because of me, my mother passed away. I could have taken her to a good doctor. I could have given her best medicines. I could have taken care of her. How could I let my mother go away? And I was so horribly nasty to myself that I slowly passed into a phase of depression. And I started taking antidepressants, sleeping pills. And by 2014, I even became suicidal. So just by feeling sorry for the past, it helps no one, right? So it is just a pure waste of time. Your past will not change, but what can change is your future. So what you are doing at present is continuously contributing to your future, right? So the best strategy is focusing on the present in order to change your future, in order to make your future better. That is the best thing you can do. Okay, and the next is worrying about your future. You can focus on today's work in order to make your future better. But just by worrying about your future, that is not going to make anything good, right? Like when COVID was going on, a lot of artists were struggling to earn money because they never knew how to earn money in a location independent manner. Now I was earning a lot of money and my students were also earning a lot of money because we learned how to work in a location independent manner. Now again, COVID can come, right? We never know. So what we can do is we can prepare ourselves for something that can happen in the future. And by taking action now, by preparing ourselves now, we are actually taking action to have a better future. Just by worrying about the future is not going to make our future better, right? So just by worrying about the future, we are doing nothing but wasting our time. The next one is blaming others for the situation. This is another waste of time. Like, let's say you are blaming somebody, and let's say somebody is really responsible, like whatever, like just imagine that something has happened to you and it is totally not your fault. Let's say you are driving a car and somebody is dashing you and you are running into an accident and you are losing your arm or something is happening to you. Maybe you are becoming sick or something is happening because of somebody else's mistake. Fine, right? It is not your fault. But then what? Will the blame game going to help you to do anything better in life? No, right? Um, so it is a waste of time. Even if you think that it is somebody else's fault, 100% somebody else's fault, and it was 0% your fault, then also just playing the blame game is not going to help you. So since it is not going to help you, let's not waste time there, right? So I will tell you one of my episodes. One of my old client, she misunderstood something related to me and she was very nasty. And I used to feel that, wow, I did so much for her. She got such wonderful results. Then why she's saying negative things about me? And I was playing the blame game. I was completely blaming her for doing what she was doing, right? And I was blaming her for making me feel bad. I was playing the role of a victim, right? So when we play the blame game, we feel like a victim. So I was feeling like a victim. I was feeling very horrible. I was feeling that what I did because of which the other person is saying bad things about me. Even if it is not in my control, but just playing the blame game was not helpful at all. I could have done something better in that time. You know what saved me? My husband is really witty. And my husband asked me this question, Meeta, just imagine this world is having 8.5 billion people, right? And she's just one among those 8.5 billion people, right? Just imagine that, let's say your business is really doing well and you are earning several millions a month. Would you have reacted the same way you are reacting right now? And I said, oh my God, I really felt that no, if my business is making way more money, millions and millions of dollars in a month, And there are 8.5 billion people out there in this world. Why should I actually care about what one single person is saying, right? So I stopped thinking about that. It seemed so silly. Before my husband asked that question, I was literally in tears. And after my husband asked that question, I was like, huh? What I was doing? I really felt so silly at that time. And then I understood after some time that, yeah, I was playing a blame game. I was just blaming her for whatever she was doing. It was not helpful at all. The next is procrastination. Now, procrastination can be various different kinds of procrastination. Some procrastinations come in the format of delaying some important work. Some procrastination comes in the form of just prioritizing some work, which is actually of very low priority. I used to do a lot of that. And nowadays I have reduced drastically, but still I cannot say that I'm totally out of procrastination. So these are the top 10 ways of wasting time. So now let's identify what's stopping you from becoming highly productive. Why it is important? Because what is stopping you from becoming highly productive can be very different from what is stopping me from becoming highly productive, because you are a totally different person. Your situations are different. Maybe you are living in a very different surrounding. Your environment is different. Your culture is different. Many things are different. Your family is different, right? So the problems that you are facing that is stopping you from becoming productive can be way different than what I am facing or what somebody else is facing, right? So it is something like this. Let's say one person is getting fever and another person is also getting fever. The reason can be different, right? And unless that reason is killed, the person will keep getting fever. Exactly like that. It is really important for you to identify what is stopping you from being productive, because if you don't, even if you listen to this training, it is not going to help you much. Okay, so let's identify. One is lack of proper sleep. A lot of people, they feel that they need to sacrifice their sleep in order to progress in life, which is not true. It is totally opposite. If you don't sleep well, if you're sleep deprived, then your productivity goes down and you don't feel fresh. You are not able to take good decisions. You're not able to pay focus. And because of all of that, you will put more time in doing something which could have been done in much less time, right? So if this is what is the problem, this is what is making you less productive, you can identify this, take a tick mark, and then make sure that you improve your sleeping time or sleeping habits. You can make it better, right? The next is lack of planning. I was having this problem. Still to a certain extent, some of the part of my day goes with less planning. But I have noticed that when I plan my day, it becomes really, really productive. Now, if you are not in a habit of creating thorough planning, then you can have at least one major task per day, only one major task, which will move the needle, which will improve you either in your artwork or in your business, right? So just plan. Maybe the planning is just going through a rigorous training. Maybe the planning is getting your website done faster, or maybe the planning is recording a video which will really help you to grow your art business, or getting one thing done which can actually help you to become a much better artist, right? So just focus on one thing, one most important thing, and do that first before getting anything else done, right? So lack of planning may be one of the things that is stopping you. The next one is lack of focus. I was having this problem, when focus is equal to currency. When people say that, Meeta, how can I earn more money? So I say, what exactly is money? Money is knowledge. Money is currency. Money is focus. Money is attention. Money is your skill level. So if you improve all of that, certainly you will earn more money. So one of that is focus. Focus is equal to money. If you don't have focus, or if you have less focus, in that case, you cannot grow yourself as an artist, or you cannot grow your art business also, right? So where is your focus right now? So find out where is your focus right now. So let's say an artist says that I really want to earn more. And on the other hand, the artist is continuously creating paintings after paintings after paintings after paintings, right? The artist is saying, nah, I really am focusing on improving my artwork. But that is not where the artists need to focus if they really want to grow their art business, because the money in the business is coming from the sales. If the artist is doing branding, promoting, marketing, and selling, then the artist is going to earn money. A lot of artists focus on creating paintings because that is their passion and that is what they really love to do. But when you actually want to enhance a part of your art business, you need to focus on that specific section. For example, my sales skills is really good. But when it comes to marketing, I was not a very good marketer. Now also, I cannot say that I'm a really good marketer, right? I have to drastically improve. So my focus this year is completely on marketing, right? So you have to understand where is your focus. It is very important to understand wherever is your focus. That is going to improve. Now, if your focus is in creating painting and if you really want to improve that, that is okay. But if you want to improve your sales skills or marketing skills and you're not focusing, learning that, then it is not going to help you. The next is lack of knowledge. Like a lot of people say that I cannot pay money to get the knowledge. But the thing is, if you don't have the knowledge, you are paying, right? You are paying anyways. For example, I will give you an example here. So for example, let's say a person says, I cannot learn watercolors because I cannot pay the money, right? I cannot afford. Now, let's say another artist is also in the same position, but saying that, yeah, I don't have the money. And because I want to earn the money, that's why I need to learn watercolors. That's why I want to become professional, because I want to earn the money, because I don't have money right now. So this person is arranging money, is finding out a way to earn the money or to pay for learning watercolors, and then learning the sales skills and learning the business skills and then learning how to earn money, right? And in next 1 year or so is starting to earn money. Now, the artist number one who says, I cannot learn watercolors, I cannot learn this and that because I don't have money, that person is stopping themselves, right? So that person is not growing in their life and in their art business. And the other person, although that person is also not having money earlier, but that person is arranging money somehow and acquiring the knowledge and growing in their life and earning that all the money in 1 or 2 years and then continuously earning money, so that now they are capable of paying the bills, capable of earning more money in the future, right? This was my story. I was good in watercolors. I was winning awards. I even wrote a book. I did a lot of sales in sales of painting and all that. Then also my earning was not good. I was not earning consistently till January 2019. And I was so frustrated. I was so disappointed. I was so disheartened and angry with myself that even after doing so many things, then also I was not earning money. Now, what else I could do? I was not knowing what I was not knowing. But finally, I got a mentor, and my mentor taught me how to earn money in a location independent manner. And then I came to realize that actually I had no idea about all that. And then I learned all the skills. Then I came to know that, okay, I was not earning money because I was lacking the knowledge. And after May 2019, I was continuously earning. And since then, I'm earning consistently, right? So lack of knowledge can be making you highly unproductive, exactly like how it was making me unproductive. Now, lack of support. Sometimes we do need a support. We really need support. And I cannot say that without my husband's support, I could have done exactly what I'm doing right now. I cannot say that. So it is very important that we get support from our friends, family members, or parents. But I will tell you one thing, that not everyone is so lucky to get the support of their spouse or their parents. Now, in that situation, we have to ask ourselves, what is more important? If we are trying to get support and we are not getting it, what is more important to us? Is our growth more important to us? And if so, in that case, we will have to stop expecting support from our friends, family members, or spouse, whoever you are seeking support from. I will tell you this about my mother. My mother was a homemaker, and she always craved for support from my father. She was not earning money, and she always wanted to become an artist, like a good artist. But she was not having the money, and she always wanted my father to approve what she's doing in order to keep peace in our family, right? But you know what? When she died at the age of 64. And I asked, like 2-3 days before she died, I asked, what do you really want to do? She never had the idea that she's going to die so soon. So when I asked her, she said that, yeah, I have a lot of things to do. I have like money, I have your support, I really want to fulfill my desires and all that. And after 3 days, she passed away, right? So sometimes we just have to understand that not everyone is lucky to have support of our friends, family members, spouse, and all that. So we have to still understand that if you really want to progress in life, we have to ignore that and we have to continue. The next one is lack of structure. How you're structuring your work, how you're structuring your life, how you're structuring your daily schedule, all that matters, right? When it comes to structure, how you are prioritizing your task, that matters. Sometimes you can do similar task in one go so that you can become more productive, right? If you lack structure in your work, in that case, that can make you really less productive. So right now, my structure of my day is something like this. I get up in the morning, I just freshen up, and then I first study. Then I have some client meetings. I give some trainings because my morning time is my client's evening time. And I just complete that part. And 3 days a week, I do exercise. And the rest of the day, I do walking or something like that in the morning. So my morning goes in that, like learning, exercising, giving value to the clients. In the afternoon, I do a lot of working on the business, like website designing what I need to do, webinar designing, marketing, sales related things. The evening time again goes in giving value to the clients or having meetings, strategizing for the next day, and then family, right? So that is the structure of my day. Just you find out what works well for you and you focus on having a structure, right? Next is lack of clarity. If you don't have clarity, you cannot proceed further. Like I had no idea how to get clients, right? I had absolutely no idea how to get clients. So no matter how capable I was, no matter how skilled I was, no matter how much knowledge I had related to creating paintings, it was of no use related to earning money because I had no idea, I had no clarity. So when you have lack of clarity, the first thing you should do is to go for a mentor, invest in yourself, and get clarity. Clarity is the king. Unless you have clarity, you cannot proceed further. So maybe lack of clarity is your reason for being unproductive. I will give you another example. So let's say a person is looking at the window and thinking when my next client will come, when my next client will come. Basically, it is not about hoping. It is about lack of knowledge and lack of clarity, right? So that is helping the person to not earn money, or you can say stopping the person to earn money. The next is lack of accountability. Accountability is huge. Like many of us, we don't have proper accountability, and because of that, we are not very productive. So I will give you an example of myself. So when I was a software engineer back in 2008, I was working in Sapient in Bangalore, India. And throughout my days of being a software engineer, I always worked in a team. So I always had to report to my manager, right? So it was not like it is okay not to do a task. When I was a software engineer, I was completely accountable and I had to complete my job. But you know what? Most of the art professionals work all by themselves, right? At least the aspiring artists, they work all by themselves. They are not accountable to other people. So they feel that, yeah, maybe I will do it tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and next month, and the day never comes, right? So many a times when we are not accountable to someone, we try to procrastinate, we try to delay, we try to give more time to our work, which can be done in a less time. So maybe lack of accountability is stopping you from becoming productive. So if that is the case, hold yourself accountable. Self-accountability is one of the best thing. Next is have an accountability partner, a partner who really cares for your success, who really cares for your growth, and who never pulls you down, right? Who never discourages you, and who asks questions that, okay, what you did today. So when I was writing my first book, Realistic Watercolor Unleashed, at that time I hadn't started earning money that time, and I was really underconfident that time. My husband used to come home and ask me what you did related to writing the book, and that used to make me feel accountable. And I used to feel that, yeah, my husband is going to come home in the evening and I will have to tell him exactly what I did. So better I should actually take some action. So accountability helped me to stay focused and stay consistent, and actually helped me to write book and publish it. So next is poor health. Uh, there are three main pillars of life that helps us to get the success or get the progress and growth. One is health, one is wealth, and one is relationship. If any one of that goes down, our entire life goes in the wrong direction, right? Maybe you are thinking that, yeah, Meeta, I really want to grow, I really have to compromise with the health, I cannot have time for exercise, I cannot give time for eating healthy, I cannot give time for sleeping properly. If your health will go down, everything will go down. And it is not just your health. When your health will go down, it will affect your family, it will affect your business, right? It will affect your art. So it is very important that you understand that maybe your health is the one thing that is stopping you from becoming more productive. If that is the case, get yourself back to health and pay more focus to becoming much healthier, right? So I used to do all these mistakes which I'm telling you. So back in 2018, I used to work like 18 hours a day. Like I had no mentor, I had no idea what I was doing. I was simply following other people and I was earning peanuts. And I was working like crazy. And my health was not good at all. Um, then also I used to feel that, yeah, I need to struggle, I need to work hard, I need to struggle. Every artist need to struggle in order to grow. I used to give all those reasons for not taking action. But the fact is, now I do way more job in way less time, and I do a lot of exercise, and I find time for doing gardening. I find time for playing with my kittens. So, it is not about the time, it is about managing the time well. So when you manage the time well, you will find time to take care of your health. I hope if your health is in a problem situation, I hope you will give priority to your health. Next is bad attitude. This can make many people have very less, becoming less productive. Okay, when I say bad attitude, it is a lot unconsciously. When I listen to a video, I tell myself that, I'm not a very fast learner, so I will have to watch the same video 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times in order to learn. But on the other hand, if I show a very good attitude, and if I say that, okay, I will watch 10 minutes and then I will try to find out what I can do with that particular thing which I listen for 10 minutes, or I will take notes and then I will put into action, and then I will go and watch another video. In that case, that is a very good attitude. So when I'm teaching you, I'm also telling myself that this is a place where I can improve my productivity, right? So I have recognized that I do have a bad attitude while learning, because I try to give myself way more time to learn something than it is required. I can easily overcome that by improving my attitude, right? So you can also find out, do you have bad attitude towards painting, like creating painting, or learning, or marketing, or business skills, or do you have bad attitude towards sales? Okay, there are a lot of artists who have got extremely bad attitude towards sales, right? So what kind of attitude are you having towards various sections of your art business? So maybe that can help you become more productive. The next one is mindset blocks, limiting beliefs, and fears. This is tremendous. Like 80% of your growth depends upon your mindset, beliefs, and attitude, right? So even if you have one single nasty mindset block, that can actually stop you from growing. I had this mindset that I cannot become a very good mother as well as a professional at the same time. That mindset came because my mother was a homemaker, and my mother always used to take care of her children and always used to sacrifice her goals for her family. My mentors, she told me that it is not true that you cannot become professional and a good mother at the same time. There are lots and lots of people out there in this world who are professionals and who are extremely good parent at the same time. So you can also become like that. You don't have to necessarily take example of your parent. You can take example of other people also. So I could overcome that mindset block, and then I was no longer feeling bad about becoming a professional, right? There are a lot of self-limiting beliefs. One of the self-limiting belief which I had is, nobody is going to consider me good. Nobody wants to become my friend. Nobody will treat me well. That is because I had this self-doubt kind of thing from childhood days. And I used to think that nobody is going to become my friend. Actually, if at all somebody wants to become my friend, they must be having some bad agenda or something like that. So I used to repel people. I used to avoid people. I used to talk very less to people. I had a lot of limiting beliefs about myself. I had to let go of that, and then I progressed, because if I'm a mentor, I'm a business mentor as well as I'm a watercolor mentor. If I have those kind of beliefs, then I can never have a very healthy relationship with my clients. So you have to check what kind of mindset blocks or limiting beliefs or fears are holding you back, right? Maybe I will have another training on that. And the next is perfectionism. Again, this is one of the worst one. Lots of artists who are really good with painting skills, they try to make their painting better and better and better and better and better, and they ignore that they have a lot of other responsibilities, and they need to distribute their time for all the different responsibilities related to running an art profession. Becoming an art professional is just like running a business. So if you are a perfectionist and if you want to just do something really good, okay, and that is taking huge amount of time, then your growth will not be higher. In fact, it will be much slower growth. Okay, I had this feeling, and I used to feel very proud about myself for calling myself a perfectionist. So my mentor asked me, Meeta, is your health perfect? And that time my health was not that perfect. Now also I cannot say that my body weight is perfect. My mentor asked, is your hairstyle perfect? Is your quality of skin perfect? Is your relationship with people perfect? Is your kitchen sink perfect? Is your bathroom tiles all neat and clean? Is your backyard good? Is your relationship with your spouse perfect? What is perfect actually? And I said, none, right? So then I realized that I call myself perfectionist, but actually I'm not perfect at all. Then my mentor kept asking me question, Meeta, is your bank balance perfect? And then that time I used to earn a big zero, right? So then I realized that it is just a mindset that I used to think that I am a perfectionist, but actually none of the sections of my life was perfect. So if I'm a perfectionist, I must be having all sections of my life perfect, but it was far away from truth, right? So my mentor then asked me, Meeta, you feel proud about being perfectionist, but actually it is another way of slowing you down. It is another way of sabotaging your own growth. So if you are doing this and you're listening to this video, then you can rethink about that attitude and stop being a perfectionist. The strategy number 3 is overcoming limiting beliefs that results in lack of productivity. Okay, so these are some limiting beliefs. Time is money. No, time is not money. Time is way, 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 way more precious than money. Who believes time is money? People who are like mediocre people believe that time is money. And when they say that time is money, they spend a huge amount of time in order to save a little bit of money, right? And by doing that, they ruin their life. Successful people, success-oriented people, growth-focused people, they believe that time is way precious than money, and actually it is the truth. That is because you can get back money, but you can never get back the lost time, right? Time once gone has gone forever. So time is way more precious than money, right? Infinitely more valuable than money, I can say, right? The next one is more results needs more time. This is a limiting belief which I used to have, because I used to feel that if I have to do one painting, I will take 20 hours. Then if I have to make 5 paintings, I will have to make 100 hours, something like that, right? Like simple calculation. But that is not true in every section of life, right? At least in growing art business and all that. See, for example, let's say I asked you to walk, let's say 500 meters, then you can easily walk and you can just do 500 meters of walking. Let's say I ask you to walk for 1 kilometer, right? Now, if you walk for 1 kilometer, certainly you will feel a little bit tired, maybe, if you are like me. And let's say I ask you to ride a bicycle and for 1 kilometer, then you will find it way better than walking 1 kilometer, maybe, right? Isn't it? Okay, less energy and faster, right? Let's say I ask you to walk for 10 miles. In that case, it will be really difficult for you to walk 10 miles, and it will take you a lot of time and energy. And plus, your experience of walking for 10 miles will not be that great, isn't it? If you're not a runner or something like that, right? Now, if I give you a car and say that, you can go 10 miles with this car, your energy will be less consumed and your experience will be much better, and you will reach your destination much faster, isn't it? So more result, in this case, more result is more like traveling more distance, right? So it is not necessary that more result must need more time and more effort. I will give you the same example for various different sections of life. For example, let's say I have to mow a small area of my lawn. In that case, I can just do it with a manual lawn mower, right? Now, let's say I have to mow a big land as big as a farmland, right? Will I use a simple lawn mower for doing that? No, never, isn't it? Right? So it totally depends upon what tools you are using, what strategies you are using, what kind of knowledge you are using to get a job done, right? Next, the reality is more results require accountability, knowledge, focus, leverage. Like when I say leverage, it is leverage of knowledge, leverage of tools, leverage of mentor, leverage of accountability, lot many leverages you can take, leverage of money, right? So how you are getting a task done and how much and how faster you want to get result, that totally depends upon the knowledge you have, the focus you have, the money you are putting in to get the result, the accountability you have, the number of mentors you have, a lot of things, right? So more result is not equal to more time, more results is equal to all these things. The next strategy is understand your worth and value your time. This is very, very important. Some person who really don't care about their time management or their productivity, they will probably watch this video for the first 5 minutes and then they will give up. A person who will not care a lot about growing and really becoming productive, they will probably watch for 10 to 15 minutes and give up, right? Some people will fast forward the video and watch it. Some people will watch it only once. But people who really want to improve their time management skills and they really want to take down some notes, they will pause the video, they will take down notes, they will implement the strategies, right? So it all depends upon what you think your self-worth is. Okay, now this is applicable for all sections of your life. So earlier I had a very less self-worth. So I used to fight with my husband, I used to yell at my kids, I used to say nasty things to myself, and I used to waste my time a lot. Why? Because I had very less self-worth, right? I used to focus on what other people say about me, think about me, what they gossip about me, and all those things, right? Because I had very less self-worth, right? Now, when I really understood my self-worth, when I really felt that, no, my life deserves more, I really want to do much bigger things in life, I am meant to do something very good in life, then I stopped doing all those things. I stopped fighting with my husband. I stopped yelling at my kids. I stopped saying nasty things to myself. I stopped worrying about what other people has to say about me and talk about me, right? I continuously focus on growing and becoming a better person, better human being, better mother, better spouse, means better wife, better mentor, better art professional, better salesperson, better marketer, right? So I only focused on growing. I stopped doing all those unproductive things. But when I started doing good things, I started doing good things when I felt that my life is really worth, right? So understanding your self-worth is really going to help you. There are a lot of books written on that. You can study that. I will not go deep into how you can develop your self-worth and all that. And when you value your time, if you value your time, you will not gossip. If you value your time, you will not spend it here and there. If you value your time, you will use your time more productively and become more effective, right? So that is what I mean to say by strategy number 4. This one single strategy, the strategy number 4, it completely changed my life. That's why I feel that time management has got a lot to do with understanding your worth and the value of your time, right? Like, I will give you an example. So let's say there is a person who says that, Meeta, I cannot afford your workshop, right? Or afford your course. Now, if I don't value myself, if I don't value my time, then I will try to convince that person. I will try to focus on helping that person understand why they need to join my program and all those things, right? But let's say I value my time, I value my worth, and I really feel that what I'm teaching is really valuable. Then what I will do is I will focus more on doing marketing and reaching the right kind of people, so that I will not have to deal with people who say that I cannot afford, right? Okay, so I will try to reach millions and millions of people, so that I will always find the right person to work with. Now, if I just don't value my time, or if I don't understand my self-worth, then I will negotiate with low quality people, or people who say that, Meeta, I can't afford all these things, right? So I really want you to understand your self-worth, and I really want you to value your time. The next strategy is how to get more work done in less time. This is really cool. This really will help you. I'm very sure of that. So how to get more work done in less time? Number one, become a really optimistic person, because optimistic people, they are more positive focused. Like, even if they are having something negative in life, they will ignore that. They will focus on what is positive in life. They have a very good attitude, right? So by becoming an optimistic person, by acquiring a growth mindset, you can tremendously achieve way more work done in way less time. Now, if a person is not optimistic, if a person is pessimistic, they will indulge in those kind of thought. What if this goes wrong? What if the world goes bad? What if I don't achieve success? And all those crappy ideas come in the mind of people who really are not optimistic and who are not growth mindset. I was like that. I was very pessimistic. I was having a really fixed mindset. And I'm not saying that these people are not good. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that by becoming optimistic and by acquiring growth mindset, you can get way more work done in way less time, because you will not have those negative thoughts in your mind, right? Next is allocate dedicated time and space for your work. I have a space for my work, but when I started from my dining table. I had no space for my work. If you are just starting your art career, maybe you also don't have dedicated space for your work. As soon as possible, get a dedicated workspace for yourself. Maybe it is a small tiny corner of your house, but then also having a dedicated space will help you feel that you really are a professional and you really want to grow, right? Next is declutter your workspace. Try to keep it more neat and clean, because now I will say that there are some people in this world, if they do way better job when they have a cluttered house, and I am not in that category. I really want my desk to be neat and clean. When I'm saying you this, I do have a few things here and there on my desk, which tomorrow before starting my work I will actually clean, so that I can walk the talk. Usually my desk is clean, and usually I keep it quite neat and clean. My desk and my bedroom, that needs to be really neat and clean. The next one is identify and eliminate distractions. Just let go of all the distractions. Now, when I say distractions, what can be distractions? Distractions is anything that is not helping you to achieve your goal. For example, let's say your goal is to earn quite a lot of money and you are focusing on dance parties or going to movies and celebrating and all that. Maybe that is a distraction. Maybe you can do all those things after you achieve your results, right? I'm not saying just don't do any of that, but I'm saying that that can be your distractions, right? For some time period, I actually stopped watching television. Netflix was a distraction for me. I used to get addicted towards watching TV serials. Now I absolutely don't watch unless and until I really have a lot of time and I have nothing to do, then I watch movie with my husband, right? Or my child. Next is learn to say no. This is a really good habit. You know, you don't have to feel bad while saying no to another person. Saying no is one of the very good habits. I don't expect yes from my prospects. Like if a person says, Meeta, I am interested in this, I don't expect that they are actually going to buy, because I know that they will say no. And if I have the right to say no to other people, everyone has the right to say no to me also, right? So when you say yes all the time, that reduces your productivity. That means that you are prioritizing others before yourself, right? If you have to grow your art skills and your art business, in that case, prioritize your own task. I'm not saying that you have to be self-focused always, but saying no can be really good for other people. It is like setting boundaries, right? Let's say somebody is asking me, Meeta, can you do this for me? I can say that, right now I'm focusing in this thing. Once this thing gets done, I will see if I have time. If I have time, then I will check it out. I'm not promising that I will do it, right? Just by saying I may or may not do it, that actually helps them also, right? They may do it by themselves or they may get it done by somebody else. I may not do it. I say no to my family members also. If I have a very important task on hand and I really have to get it done, then I say no to every single person before the task gets done. Next is identify and write down your top 3 priorities of every day. This I learned from Brian Tracy. And if you do not have top 3 priorities, then find out which one or which task is actually going to make you really feel good, feel fulfilled, feel productive, or feel that you are growing, right? That is how you can find out. Sooner or later, like, you will realize what are your priorities. And once you understand what are your priorities, you will write it down. Okay. Next is select an ideal accountability buddy. Having a very good accountability buddy is really helpful. I had a wonderful accountability buddy, but nowadays I have changed it because my accountability buddy is a doctor and she's having way more tasks on her plate. So now I have changed my accountability buddy. Next is getting your sleep, exercise, and healthy eating done properly on a daily basis. Sleep more, not more. More means like what is needed for your body, right? And exercise regularly and eat healthy. I can proudly say that I'm following this. Earlier, I was not following any of these. Like neither I used to sleep, nor I used to exercise regularly, nor I used to eat healthy. I used to eat junk, right? Now, after I have followed this 8th point, it really made a huge difference in my life in terms of productivity. Right. Next is focus on one task at a time instead of multitasking. Many people feel multitasking is good. I was taught like that in my school days that, yeah, wow, you are such a wonderful multitasker. Later on, I realized that multitasking is making me really less productive. It took me a lot of time to get out of that habit of doing multitasking. So that was a really bad habit which I had of doing multitasking. Now also, I cannot say that I have 100% come out of it, but yeah, I'm working towards it. Next is set boundaries. Set healthy boundaries, which is really, really good. Like, let people know what are your priorities. Let people know what are your goals, what are your desires, what you really want your life to have, what you really want to achieve. And if they don't understand, that is okay. You have all the rights to have your own desires met. And I'm not saying that you need to be selfish or something, but like every single person, if they continuously sacrifice for other people, nobody will be happy, right? On the other hand, every person, if they take care of themselves and their priorities and they really push themselves and help themselves to achieve a goal, indirectly they are telling their family members that they also need to do that, right? I learned it from my mentor. I used to believe that if I continuously focus on myself and my growth, then I will be selfish. I had that mindset. But then my mentor said that, Meeta, if you succeed, don't you think that you will really help your kids to become successful in their life? If you earn a lot, don't you think that you are making your children's future better and brighter? If you become very hardworking, don't you think that your children will see you and learn from you? So when you really set boundaries and tell them that, this is my priority today and I really want to work on that, that is good. I really feel that setting boundaries is necessary to live a very good quality life. Even if you are not an art professional, setting boundaries is really important for your self-worth also. Next is spend quality time with family. Now, some people will say, but Meeta, spending quality time with family, how can it help me become more productive? I will tell you how. When you spend quality time, not quantity time, quality time with your family, then you feel that you have given to them and they feel that they have received something from you. And when you do that, you feel fulfilled. And when you feel fulfilled, you can focus better in your art profession, right? On the other hand, if you give quantity time and not quality time, if you're just spending time with your family, but that is not a quality time, in that case, when you are working at that time, you will feel guilty, right? That you ignored your family. And your family will also not feel that you are giving them value time, right? So spend quality time. The time may not be quantity time, but quality time. So how I do it, I spend time cooking with my younger daughter on weekends or sometimes in weekdays also. Sometimes, like, she likes shopping, I like shopping, so sometimes we just indulge in some fancy shopping. Sometimes we just sit on the swing and we just talk to each other. When my daughter comes back from school, I ask her how her day was and I really spend some time with her. I serve food to my husband, I spend that time with him, I sit with him and I talk to him about his day and all that, or what he's planning for the day in the morning time, right? I go walking with my husband, and that is how I spend quality time. And I don't carry phone when I go there, like for walking. So I really spend one-on-one time with each of my family members, right? So that is what is this. So this is the sixth strategy. I know you are like, you can take break and then you can come and watch again if it is too long for you. Strategy number 6 is the principles and laws that will help you become more productive. Number 1 is Pareto's principle, 80-20 rule. Like, when I learned this rule, my life changed. The Pareto's principle says that 80% of the result will come from 20% of the effort, and 20% of the result will come from 80% of the effort. So identifying the 20% of tasks that can produce 80% of the result, that is going to help you become really good, really, really, really productive. And it will help you to grow tremendously in your art business. So what is that 20%? For me, if I want to increase my sales, my 20% will be setting up an ad, doing a strategy session, doing a triage call, sending an email. That is 20%, right? Maybe I can finish all of that in 1 or 2 hours and spend the rest entire day doing nothing, right? Now, if my 20% is, let's say, giving value to my client, if that is what is going to really make me productive, then I will just do 1 hour or 2 hours of that, and then I will not do anything else, right? My client will feel super helpful, like valuable, and feel happy and feel served, and I will feel really fulfilled, right? So that is my 20%. So identify the 20% task that will produce the greatest impact in your art business. That is a very important job you have to do. Now, once you identify that, okay, that task may be just 5-minute task, that task may be just 10 minutes task. Do that task and make your entire day productive. Okay, this 80-20 rule is the game changer. The next is Parkinson's law. This law states that work expands to fill the time allotted for it. If you give a work 1 hour, it will be done in 1 hour. If you give the work 40 hours, it will take 40 hours to get the same work done. Have you noticed that, let's say you have to catch a flight, you do a lot of work before going out and you still finish the work. Okay, let's say somebody is going to come to your house, right? And you clean, and you get the entire house clean in 1 hour, right? Okay, I have noticed that when my exams used to come, I used to study a lot and get a lot of studies done in one day, right? Okay, but when exams were not there, I was not studying, and I used to feel that, oh my God, it is too much, right? So Parkinson's law works in every section of your life. So just understand that if you give some work a lot of time, it will take a lot of time to get it done. And if you give quite less time to a work and do it systematically, it will get done in a very short amount of time, right? So by setting strict deadlines and time limits for your task, you can increase your productivity and avoid wasting time. There is another law called as Murphy's law. And this is not a law, this is just an observation. So although people say that it is Murphy's law, but it is actually not a law. It is just observation. It doesn't happen all the time. So you cannot actually say a law. A law is something which always is true, right? So this is not a law. It is just named as Murphy's law. It is many a times it comes true. That's why I have included here. This law states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You cannot do something about it. So there is always a possibility that things will turn wrong. So nothing will change by overthinking or by feeling scared or anxious or overwhelmed by thinking that what can go wrong, right? By anticipating potential problems and planning for them in advance, you can avoid delays and setbacks that can decrease productivity, right? So just think what can go wrong. Yeah, and then tell in your mind that, yeah, of course, if that can go wrong, it will go wrong. So let's prepare for it. So that is about Murphy's law. The next law is the law of harvest. And this is one of the success principles, right? So this is very important. This is nature's law also. One of the nature's law. So this is very, very important. This law states that you reap what you sow. These are one of the 17 laws of success. So it is very, very important, right? Your results are purely based on the time and effort you put consistently towards getting important work done. By believing in this law, you can decrease overthinking, increase your productivity, and achieve much better results. By not taking action, you cannot expect results. So I used to do this. I used to say that, oh, why I'm not getting results? Why I'm not getting results? And I used to focus on the results, but I was not focusing on the action, right? So my mentor taught me this. Be a little, do a little, do a little, have a little. Okay? Be a lot, do a lot, do a lot, have a lot. Be nothing, do nothing, do nothing, have nothing. So having is directly proportional to doing, right? So if you don't do, you cannot expect the result. That is what this law states, that the law states that you reap what you sow. It is very important. Like a lot of people, they say that, Meeta, but if I put hard work, what if I don't get result? So the answer to that question is every work works. Every work works in two ways. First, the work works on you and helps you become. So when the work is working on you, you feel that it is hard. When the work is working on you, you don't get the result. When the work is working on you, you feel that you are failing, right? When you become the person who can do the work successfully, at that time onwards, the work works for you and gets you the result, right? So all work works in two ways. Number one, work works for you, on you, and helps you become. Once you become the person, then the work works for you and gets you the result, right? So there is nothing called as it doesn't work. So understand this. This is a very important principle. Next is the law of prioritization, right? So this law states that most important tasks should be completed first. Now, by prioritization, first we have to understand what is our priority. And when we understand what is our priority, then we have to get that work done first. So I have all my exercises done first, early in the morning. So on my exercise day, I just do the exercise early in the morning because I have that tendency of delaying exercise. I have that tendency of not liking the exercise. So I know that if I do all the other work and I do exercise at the very end of the day, I will simply not do it. And since health is my priority, I will first do the exercise and then have the breakfast and then start working. So you understand what is your priority, and based upon that, you decide your urgency level, you decide your importance level and get it done, right? So the most important thing need to be done first. It is also written in the book by Brian Tracy called as Eat That Frog. So that is going to be very helpful if you read that book. The next is the law of diminishing returns. This is so important for artists to understand this law. This law states that after a certain point, each additional unit of input result is in a smaller increase in output, results in a smaller increase in output, right? So after you have done a lot of things, after that, whatever you do, it will add very little result, okay? So overall, what you have to understand is, by understanding this law of diminishing returns, you have to understand that artists can optimize their artworks prioritize their task effectively, and leverage technology to increase their productivity and create high quality work in a more efficient manner, right? So that is what you have to focus on. Prioritize, optimize, and leverage. 3 words: prioritize, optimize, and leverage. That will help you. Now, this is the last one. I hope you are also feeling good about it. So strategy number 7, this I learned from Brian Tracy, follow the 4 Ds. First D is do. If you do, then the work will get done. And if the work is getting done, then you will feel that you are efficient, you are effective, and you are productive. If you don't do the work which really needs to get done, then you will become unproductive. You will not feel that you are efficient, right? So doing the work gets the work done. Very important, right? So identify what work needs to be get done by you. Okay, not all the work needs to get done by you. For example, I used to do cooking regularly. Then I realized that, if I really want to learn business, I really have to delegate the cooking job to somebody else or outsource it for a time being so that I can focus on my business. So for time being, I outsourced that work and I used to get food from outside. But once my business was all up and running, then I started again doing the cooking, right? So next is delegate. Delegate means you're giving the work to somebody else. Not every work you can do. You have got 24 hours, so you can stop doing the cleaning activities. You can get the cleaners to do the cleaning activities. I used to do the cleaning activities earlier. Now, once in a week, cleaners come and they clean our entire house, right? So that has made me quite productive. Next is defer. Defer means just postpone your work for a later date. If you think that something is low priority, you will not do it immediately. You can do it sometimes later. So identifying whether a work is low priority, for example, sending a mail or sending a reply to somebody or going and meeting some people, right? Or calling somebody may not be very like bringing value to your business. So you may get it done later. Maybe you can keep all the chatting with friends and all that for the weekend, right? So those things you can like identifying what things are low priority but must be done, that will help you to defer it. And next is delete. Some of the tasks are really not suitable for you and you really need to delete it. I will again give you that checklist which I had created. Like I created this particular checklist for me. Okay, so these were the 10 things which must be removed from my plate. I used to feel that. Okay, so all these things is having no sense, right? No meaning. So I just totally removed it from my plate, right? So like that, what are the other things that you need to remove from your plate that you have to ask yourself? And that will help you to become really good productive person. Now, one thing which I removed from my plate related to household work is cleaning, right? I used to mop and I used to wash dishes and all that. Now I don't do that. Now we have a dishwasher, and that too, cleaners, they come and do it. Sometimes I just delegate it to my daughters and all that. I do it very, very rarely, right? So you have to find out what are the things that you need to delete from your plate in order to do much better in your life and in your art business. Okay, so that's all. So this is now your action steps. So, learning and knowledge carries no meaning unless and until you take some action. I know that this training is really, really long, but I want you to understand that becoming more productive is one of the most important things that you can do for your growth and for your family's growth and for your art business growth. So this training is really valuable, but it is going to be valuable only if you take some action. It will not be valuable if you don't take action. So these are some action steps. Now download the checklist. I'm going to give you the slides so you can download that. You can take printout of the slides and you can print the checklist and find out what needs to get done, what does not need to get done. You can write down that in a separate notebook. Identify the 20% task that gives you 80% result and maximize it, and minimize the 80% task or delegate the 80% task. So again, I will repeat, 20% task you maximize, and remaining 80% task either you delete, delegate, or defer. Next, this one single thing that I told you, this second one, this one alone can double your productivity. The next one is identify any 5 strategies from today's training that will be most helpful for you to improve your productivity, and use those 5 strategies consistently till that becomes your second habit. So these are some recommended books. You can take a screenshot of that. I will just read out the names of the books. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Getting Things Done, Deep Work, Atomic Habits, Eat That Frog, and 10x is Easier Than 2x. These are 6 books which I really felt helpful, and I would highly recommend you to go through these books. Now, if you want to achieve results, you have to go through this training again, probably, because going through one training once may not be going to help you remember all these things. The next time you go through this training, take plenty of notes, pause in between, take notes, and take action. You cannot get results unless and until you take action. So please take action so that you can actually get all these things, right? Save time, get more work done, more family time, more time for yourself, and more time for investing in your art business, more money, more impact, and more productive, right? So that's all for this training, and I hope you will watch another training, but I also hope that you will implement some of the strategies you learned from this training. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.